Hello everyone, this is Sri. Here is the new topic of special subjects, map reading, a vast one which consists of written 24 marks and practical 16 marks. What is a map? A map is a geographical representation of a piece of land on a piece of paper with the measure of the scale. So we'll discuss in detail. So here is the one of the important topic of map reading, that is the conventional signs. So you will be given one of these sign like this will be given. You will be given a four options of lined well, unlined well, bridge and lighthouse. You have to tick the option unlined well. So let's see what are the conventional signs, some of the important conventional signs. So church will have symbol like this, the mosque with three places, and the temple with a flag, and the tomb with a dome, and the house for the permanent it will be dark, and the temporary it will be unconstructed well. Village open and closed, two types. Boundaries are demarcated and undemarcated, important one. And the graveyard will be this, and the battlefield will be circle with a plus representing metallic road and unmetallic road. Causeway, river, dry and wet. Wet consists of water, dry does not consist of water. Bridge, unlined well, lined well, and lighthouse. Fort, one of the important one. Contour lines, and the railway. Narrow gauge, broad gauge, single line, double line, single line, double line. So in narrow gauge you have single line and double line, broad gauge you have single line and double line. It will be represented like this. The circuit courts CH, rest house RH, police station PS, post office PO, telegraph office TO, campaigning guard CG, reserve forest RF, protected area PA. The benchmark also is very important. BM 200, the canal symbol is like this, and the international democratic boundary will be unlined well. Next, we discuss about the scale and the technical terms associated with the map reading. So, what is a scale? A scale is the proportion of the distance between 2 points on a map to the distance on the ground. So, on scale, the question will definitely be asked in the exam based on this example. So, see here example 1:1 lakh scale map on. Here we know that 1 centimeter on a map is equal to 1 kilometer on the ground. Based on this, 2 or 3 questions will be asked in the map reading under the topic of scales. So when I'll be discussing about the questions of map reading, I'll let you know what kind of questions will be asked. So technical terms are bearing, benchmark, contour lines and the grid lines. So we'll discuss in detail. So what is a bearing? A bearing is a clockwise or anti-clockwise angle between north or south and a direction. So the bearing is recorded as north, for example this alert, north 57 degrees east and south 51 degrees east and 521 degrees west. So here we know the clockwise or anti-clockwise angle. This is 0. This is known as bearing. There are 3 types of bearings. So that is true bearing, grid bearing and magnetic bearing. So what is a true bearing? Using the direction towards the geographical north pole as a reference point. Here the geographical north pole will be used as a reference point. Using the direction northwards along the grid lines of the map is known as grid bearing. So in relation to the magnetic north, the magnetic bearing will be explained using the direction towards the magnetic pole as a reference point. Here definitely one question will be asked. They will be given a back bearing. What is asked by giving a forebearing? So you have to find the back bearing when the angle of forebearing is given. Here 2 important points to be remembered are, if forebearing is given less than 180, it will be added to the 180. If forebearing is given more than 180, it will be minused from the 180. So remember this point. For example, if the forebearing angle is 20 degrees, the back bearing is, the question is asked, then you have to add 180 to 20, the answer is 200. If the forebearing is given as 320, then what do you have to do, students? So for the back bearing will be, forebearing is 320, right? 320 minus 180. since it's less than 180. Important bit and definitely asked in the paper. What is a benchmark? A benchmark is a post or other permanent mark established at the known elevation that is used for the basis for the measuring the elevation of other topographical points. So what are the contour lines? Contours, imaginary lines or joining equal heights. By looking how far apart of contour lines of an area are, we can tell how steep or flat the land is. So what is a gradient? Measure of how steep a slope or line is. Gradient is a measure of how steep or a gradient like is like a slope. So what are the grid lines? A purple or blue lines running from north to south and east to west, like north to south and east to west. These are the grid lines. Okay, which are parallel to each other. Important bit here. What are easting lines? Easting lines are the vertical lines that run from west to east. Most of them confuse. Easting lines means they tell east to west. That's wrong. And the vertical lines running from the west to east are known as easting lines. And what are northing lines? These are the horizontal lines running from south to north. Horizontal lines running from south to north. Grid reference is a very important topic where one question will definitely be asked in the exam. So grid reference will be of three types: 4D grid reference, 6D grid reference, and 8D grid reference. Now how to calculate a six figure, how to calculate a four figure, I'll be letting you know. So how to calculate a four figure is easy. You have to know what is a easting line and northing line. So suppose you're having a river here. What will be the easting line? Either 63 or 64 because it is located in this between of 63 and 16. 4, right? So what value you have to take, 63 or 64? Definitely we have to take the value of 63 because this is where after the river is present. So the easting line will be 63 east. Then what is the northing line? So this river is present in between 13 and 14. Same applies here. The 13 after you're having a river. So definitely the value you'll be taking is 13. So the northing line will be 39. Here comes the four figure of 63 east, 13 north. So very simple. And how do you calculate a six figure? For six figure, there will be sublines even in between 13 to 14 and 12 to 13, 62 to 63 and 63 to 64. Here will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The mid will be 5. Here also the mid will be the 5. If suppose the river is present in between the middle point. So first of all we'll write the easting and northing line for six figure also. Here the easting line is 63 and the northing line is 13. So how do you write a six figure? For 63 and 13, what are the midterms? So where is the river present? So if you draw a benchmark line, here you'll be having a particular value. I have 5 here, so I have written 5. Even here, when you draw a line in extend a line from here, you'll be having a particular value. Here the value is 5, so 5 will be written side of 13 and the 5 will be written side of 63, whereas easting will be 5 6 3 and the northing will be 1 3 5. Here comes a six figure. Be so clear about calculating this four figure and six figure. It's very easy. If you understand, you can solve 2 to 3 questions in the examination. So what are the cardinal points? The cardinal points are north, east, west and south. Here comes northeast, here comes southeast, here is southwest and here is northwest. So other important topic is a topographical forms. Definitely one question will be asked from the topographical forms. Most probably null, small isolated hill is known as null, is asked in each and every examination. So what is a basin? Area drained by the river is known as a basin. Col or saddle is the joining points of the hill. Highest part of the hill is known as crest. Highest part of the hill is known as crest. Mountain pass or bridge is known as defile. Knoll, a small isolated hill, very important one. Plateau, elevated land without a peak is known as plateau. Ravine, valley between the spurs. What is a spurs? The range of hills is known as, like, the range from here to here is known as per. And escapement is a steep hill is known as an escapement. Watershed, edge of the river basin. So when the river basin is like this, there will be a edge, it is known as a watershed. I have only written some important topographical forms. There are some more topographical forms present. So, coming to the next topic of types of north, there will be three types of north: true north, grid north, magnetic north. It is also asked in the practical, it's very important. So, what is the true north, what is a grid north, and what is a magnetic? True north is the original north we measure, is known as true north, and the magnetic north is the angle between magnetic north and the true north, is known as magnetic difference. The angle between true north and the grid north is known as grid convergence. Okay. Next, prismatic compass. It is of two types: dry prismatic compass and liquid prismatic compass. Liquid prismatic compass is mostly used in the army. So it's very important to know about the parts of the compass. The diagram will be given and they underline like this, mark like this, and give four options of cover, hing, window, and tongue. What do you choose? Hairline. If there is no option hairline, there should be a given no option. So make sure you know the parts of the compass thoroughly so that you should not be mistakenly kept other part. So uses of compass are bearing. It can know the direction. It is used to set a map and to find a own position. So what are some of the parts of the compass? Are tongue, hairline, window, lid, cover hinge, and arrowhead. It's arrowhead, and capline screw. It's a prism, notch, thumb ring, dial, and louver line. This is the lid. This is the tongue. This is the window. This is the hairline, and this is the cover. Okay. Next, coming to the service protector, and the 0 to 180 degree will be a angle like this, and 180 to 360 will be a angle like this if arrowhead is towards left angle. What are the uses of the service protector? The service protector is used to plot and measure the bearing of the map, and it is also used as a scale. It's used for the finding the own position. It also measures the distance on the map. So to find the own position, you have to know 4 points mostly. That is, you have to set a map. First of all, you have to set the map and identify two objects. That is, one visible on the map and ground. So after identifying, you have to convert the forward bearing to the back bearing. So I have already told you to convert the back bearing to forward bearing. So forward bearing plus 180 and forward bearing minus 180 in case of less than 180 and then more than 180. You have to convert the forward bearing to back bearing. Then the back bearing on the map, the point of intersection, there will be a back bearing on map, right? There will be a point of intersection. This point of intersection is the position we wish to find. Next, it will be of two types. That from map to ground, if you have to find the position, there will be three methods. To ground to map, you have to find the position, there will be four methods. Bearing and the distance method to map to ground, direction and the distance method, and by estimation method. By using bearing, intersection, direction, and estimation, you can find ground to map positions. So items required for the navigation party at nighttime there should be a special item so that to attack the enemy. What are those items? The compass is compulsory, and the luminous stick white cloth which will be visible in the dark, the marching chart and the white lime or chalk, stone pebble for the measuring steps, and foster touch. These are the important topics and subtopics of the map reading.